Toph, when I was in town, I found something that you're not gonna like.
Well, it sounds like a sheet of paper, but I guess you're referring to what's on the sheet of paper.
It's a wanted poster of you. They've nicknamed you the Runaway.
A wanted poster! That's so great! The Runaway. I love my new nickname. Is there a picture of me? Does it look good?
Well, yeah, actually, it does look pretty good. But, Toph, you're missing the point. Maybe Katara was right. These scams are drawing too much attention to us.
Don't be such a worrywart like your sister. Think of it this way. Now you have plenty of money to help with the invasion plan.
Well, that is true. I had this idea of making armor for Appa.
Here's a little extra so you can get yourself a nice map of the Fire Nation. You know what? Make it an atlas.
I do like expensive atlases.
Of course you do. And that's why this wanted poster is going to stay our little secret.
Sokka, tell me you didn't buy a bird?
Not just a bird, a messenger bird. Now we can send messages all over the world, even to Gran Gran.
Wow, how does it work?
I never actually thought about that. Hockey, Gran Gran, South Pole. I think he gets it. Hockey, make nice! Bad hockey!
Well, look who decided to join us. Where have you two been? Off scamming again?
Yes, we were.
And I suppose you don't think what you're doing is dangerous at all?
No, I don't.
Really?
Yes, really.
Well then, what's this?
I don't know! I mean, seriously, what's with you people? I'm blind!
It's a wanted poster of you, the Runaway. Is that what you're called now? Are you proud of this?
Where did you get that?
It doesn't matter where I got it. The fact is,
You went through my stuff. You had no right.
your stuff was messy, and I was just straightening up, and I happened to stumble across it.
That's a lie. You're lying, Katara.
Fine, it's a lie. But you've been so out of control lately, I knew something was up. I knew you were hiding something, and you were. Don't you walk away from me while I'm talking to you.
Oh, really, Mom? Or what are you going to do? Send me to my room?
I wish I could.
Well, you can't, because you're not my mom and you're not their mom.
I never said I was.
No, but you certainly act like it. You think it's your job to boss everyone around, but it's not. You're just a regular kid like the rest of us. So stop acting like you can tell me what to do. I can do whatever I want.
And this is such a familiar scene to so many of us in our real lives as young people, or as parents, I guess, for that matter, where, you know, the only way that Katara could have found the poster is if she went through Toph's stuff. So
Yep.
it is no longer the argument immediately.
That crosses
Toph
some
kind of
lines.
gets the
That
upper
crosses
hand,
some
right?
lines.
Yeah, because now it's like about you touched my stuff, you went into my stuff, you went through everything. You don't get to do that.
Invading my
Yep.
privacy.
Not cool.
Exactly. And I get it. I don't disagree. It's not a great look.
And she also forgets I'm blind.
I mean, yeah.
The worst thing is to go through someone's stuff and then you find what you were looking for.
I know.
Yeah.
Not
I
great.
know.
I just feel like we've all had that. Like, I've definitely
Of
had
course, of
that
course.
exact argument with a parent where they're like, look what I found. And I'm like, how dare you go through my stuff? And they're like, look what I found, though. And I'm like, how dare you go through my
You go
stuff?
through
And
my
it just
stuff.
becomes
You just-
two separate arguments and two separate fights.
You're not on the same page.
You're like, I was hiding that from you for a reason. And now we all see
Exactly.
you're really upset.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Tough.
It's
It's
just
tough.
very familiar. Very familiar.
What are you going to do? Send me to my room?
I wish I could.
Well, you can't, because you're not my mom and you're not their mom.
I never said I was.
No, but you certainly act like it. You think it's your job to boss everyone around, but it's not. You're just a regular kid like the rest of us. So stop acting like you can tell me what to do. I can do whatever I want.
You know, the Toph and Katara thing is such a bummer when people in your crew or your family are not getting along. It's the most major bummer of all time. But this
cool.
really burns Katara, the whole Toph thing, no pun intended. And it's
Mhm,
not
Fire
like
Nation.
Sokka and Aang
Mhm.
can fully defend her because, well, you know, she is acting motherly, right? She is kind of being that girl. right now. Like, come on, Katara, you're being that girl.
And she like yells at Aang and is like, sit up straight when you're
She's
talking to me."
yelling
Yes,
at
ma'am.
everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Like, there's like, people talk about that alpha male energy. There's always that alpha female too. And then we don't call the alpha female out as much as they call out the alpha male dude. But it happens. So all this adds up to Katara and Toph not speaking to each other, leaving Sokka and Aang to try to use hockey to heal the rift between the two. They figured out hockey real quick. They found the instructions because hockey was like, yeah, I'm into it. Like, I'm gonna go deliver this thing right over there.
Yeah.
So
It's
he
a
writes
nearby
an
delivery.
apology.
Yeah,
It's a
close.
nearby. You got to start
Local
with
training.
close before you go across the seas. He writes an apology note to Katara, pretending to be from Toph.
It's just so bad.
It's so bad, Michaela.
But yet he's forgetting the key factor that Toph doesn't know how to write. Why would she? And they probably won't get very far if they send that note to Toph from Katara. But Katara's smart enough, and she ripped up the note. So now Sokka's going to have to figure this out without hockey or Aang's help. He grabs Toph to go have a heart-to-heart, not realizing that Katara is swimming or bathing or something directly underneath them. I guess she's getting all the mud off herself, right?
yeah.
And they start to have this really beautiful conversation, actually.
Does Sokka not know? Or does
I don't
just
think
Toph
he
not know?
knows.
Because I feel like that would be smart for him. Like,
It
giving
would
him
be
some
smart
credit.
to
I don't know. But like, maybe he like knew that's where she was, and so he purposefully put them there. I always gave him a little bit of credit. I'm giving everybody
I like
credit
that.
here.
No, I like
you know.
that. This is why we need you. I like
I
that.
don't
It never
know.
occurred to me that he might be like, let's go have
Because
a
he
little
watched,
heart to heart.
he maybe watched her go away and then was like,
They might have
Yeah.
some sister-brother telepathy.
like
I
that.
don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, but you should look underneath the rock before you start having some private conversations sometimes.
But that's what I'm
Maybe.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Maybe he knew. That's why he just
Yeah.
perched there. Yeah, I don't know.
So they start having this conversation, and like the conversation doesn't start out great because Sokka's like not super kind about describing Katara, but then he gets all like soft and like loving and like brother, sibling warmth,
Yeah.
and he starts explaining how much he appreciates her and needs her. And we're not gonna play the scene because I think we know at least one of us is gonna start crying.
Who? I don't know if that's
Yeah,
true.
Because it's actually really written so well. I
It
kind of got
is.
emotional because of the whole thing about he can't even remember his mother's face anymore. Again,
Yeah.
it brought me back to like these are children from war, you guys.
Yes. Well
And
said.
we all know we're going
Yes.
through a wartime in the world right now where there's a lot of children suffering. So this again,
Yes.
Avatar is very poignant in what is happening in real world right now. So it was really beautifully written and
It is.
beautifully acted and touching and heartbreaking to have
Yeah.
your mother pass away during war and no longer remember her. But it is wonderful to know like your sister is that kind of maternal like touchstone for you. And it's a really beautiful scene.
A rock, one could say.
A rock,
There you
possibly a rock. And Toph actually gets soft and starts saying loving things
Yeah.
about her too.
yeah.
But but she never wants Katara to hear that, of course.
Absolutely
But then
not.
of course, Katara is underneath there hearing everything.
Yeah.
Beautiful scene.
Absorbing it
Beautiful
out.
scene.
It is. It's, one of those soft Toph moments that we don't get too often, but we get a sliver of it in Tales of Ba Sing Se. We get a sliver of it here. We see a sliver of it in Blind Bandit too, when she's, about to leave her parents and she's like, I love earthbending and I'm really good at it. Like, let me live my dream. And then they just want to lock her up more.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's
Yeah.
tough. It's tough.
It's tough. Bend your ear for ad-free episodes with Avatar Braving the Elements Premium.
Subscribe today on Apple Podcasts.